When a devoted father vanished in Georgetown, police expected a routine missing person search, until they lifted a bedroom carpet and found copious blood soaked deep into the floor. As investigators traced a trail of hydrogen peroxide purchases, fake text messages, and a jailhouse confession about dumping the body, one truth became undeniable: this wasn't just a disappearance, it was a family conspiracy. When Leon Harrison Jr. stopped calling his children, everyone in Georgetown noticed. A father might get busy, sure, but Leon never went 2 days without checking in. Silence from him wasn't just unusual, it was alarming. When Brittany Green reported him missing, she wasn't exaggerating. Something was wrong, and the police had to find out what. Investigators went to the Rue family home, where Leon had lived with his estranged wife, Tish. The house looked normal, almost too normal. The streets were quiet, the windows dark. But something about the stillness felt deliberate. A locked bedroom door. Shadows moving inside. Small signs that told the officers to pay attention. Something was off, and their instincts were right. Then they lifted the carpet in Leon's bedroom. Blood. A lot of it, soaked deep into the padding and subfloor. It wasn't a scrape, a fall, or an accident. This was violence. Severe, deliberate, and personal. In that moment, the case changed. This wasn't a missing person search anymore. It was a homicide. Neighbors mentioned seeing Alex Rue Jr., Leon's brother-in-law, acting strangely in the days after Leon disappeared. Surveillance footage confirmed it. He had gone out late at night and bought hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, a chemical often used to clean up blood. The connection was immediate: blood in the bedroom, chemicals purchased to erase it, a man acting suspiciously. Every detail pointed to something far more serious than anyone had imagined. The digital trail told its own story. Tish had called Leon's phone repeatedly that night, making it seem like she was trying to reach him. Text messages came from his number afterward, but investigators noticed right away, they didn't sound like him. Someone was trying to create a story that Leon was still alive, moving, and reachable. Every fake call and message pulled investigators deeper into the family's deception. The breakthrough came from a place the police hadn't expected: inside a county jail. Another inmate revealed that Alex Rue Jr. had admitted to dumping the body. Investigators moved fast. Divers were called. Every second mattered.
Now nobody's heard or seen from Leon since the 25th that night. Mm-hmm. And since the 25th, which was a Saturday night, you haven't heard, talked to, nothing. He hasn't called his children, nothing.
Every moment that passed without action could have let the family stay one step ahead of justice. When Leon's body was recovered from the Black River, the reality hit hard. He had been bound with electrical wires and weighted down to stay submerged. This was intentional.
Hope y'all day going pretty good. Mine's definitely is. I'm smiling just because, smiling is just what I do. But I hope you all are blessed. Y'all stay.
It was precise. It was personal. A father had been taken from his family, hidden in plain sight, yet the evidence wouldn't stay hidden for long. The Rue family stayed silent, refusing to answer questions. But that silence spoke in its own way. Investigators noticed the pauses, the evasions, the careful words. Every withheld answer, every hesitation added pressure. Even without their cooperation, the trail of blood, chemicals, texts, and confessions was enough. Piece by piece, the story of what had happened began to take shape. Leon Harrison Jr. hadn't walked away from his life. He had been deliberately removed by the people closest to him. And as the investigation unfolded, the picture became clear: this was a family conspiracy, a plan that turned personal conflict into murder.
He was between the sheets, okay? So he might have been with this girl for a little while, and that girl for a little while, but this girl went out of town for a week.
What girl was that?
The wife went out of town for a week.
Tish?
Yeah, she went to wherever she Washington or wherever. She was out of town for a week. So he was with another girl.
Do you know her name?
It wasn't in the projects.
Rosario?
Yes.
Okay.
He went with her, and they was to the house every day.
They were to your house
every day for that week. You understand what I'm saying? When this one came back in town, I thought it was over with, but it probably wasn't. So he was probably still conversating with this one and still having conversations.
But around the time that the birthday party, the last time you saw him, did he make any mention of going back to her?
Yes. And not mention of going back, but always sneaking going back. Not mention like.
Did he say anything to you, like, I'm going to go back and see my wife?
Well, pretty much.
This had to been after 10 by now. And it was the wife. And all I said was hello. And she started talking, yeah, they are over here. He all fucked up, which y'all thought y'all was smarter than me. Y'all was going to outsmart me.
Is this the first time you ever talked to this woman?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I hung up the phone. And then she called back maybe like 5 minutes after that, and I didn't answer. I'm assuming that's when she left the first voicemail.
Okay.
And then a little bit of time went by. Got another call from his phone. I answered because I assumed if he was that intoxicated, that he was trying to call me to correct the situation. But it was her again. I hung up the phone. And then that's when I got a text from the phone number, and it said, I can't be with you no more. I don't love you. I never will. But the way that the text was sent, I know he didn't text. He didn't write that. He doesn't use commas in between things or whatever. And if you look at the text messages in our phone, he don't use commas.
And nothing would be the same again. After the river revealed Leon's body, investigators had no choice but to follow every lead inside the Roux household. The evidence pointed clearly to a coordinated effort. It wasn't just one person acting in a moment of rage. Multiple people had been involved, each playing a specific role. Tyesh had orchestrated the digital deception, Alex Jr. had provided the physical force and cleaned up the crime scene, and Alexander Sr. had helped with the body's disposal.
Never. From the time he left your house up until the day, he has never texted you, called you. You have not been able to get in contact with him.
Nothing. I mean, I can show you nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, I tried my best to reach out because my phone is so jacked up, excuse me. Because I'm used to that with him. Nothing.
If you've been here long enough, you know Georgetown's a small town, okay?
Absolutely.
And you know how word travels, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, we've been getting phone calls all morning.
Okay.
Okay, we've been getting calls from DC. We've been getting calls from all over the place. Okay, and everybody's saying that you're the one we need to be looking at.
I just don't like the fact that I'm being targeted because I would have never in any shape, form, or fashion hurt that man. I never said that I would hurt him. Nobody could say that, you know, like this baby mother, a couple other people I know have screamed at this guy and told him they want to kill him. They want to get somebody to kill him. But then everybody wants to point at me because I'm the wife and because, I'm the only one who wanted to be honest about seeing him last.
Okay, well, who said they wanted to kill him?
That baby mother is crazy. That girl has sent text messages. She has said so much rude stuff to both of us to the fact that we had to stop communicating with her for a while. And the children suffered. Mm-hmm. Then I told him, regardless of how ignorant she is, you still have kids. You have to find a way to communicate with her. Just don't talk to her.
Do you and him have children together?
No.
Okay. Who else was at the house that night?
Just my dad.
Just your dad? He was the only one there?
Yeah, my dad and my brother. Because,
Mr. Roux?
Yes, sir.
I'm Investigator Powell. Do you mind if I speak with you and the kids?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I come in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Roux, I'm like I said, I'm Investigator Powell.
Yes,
I work
sir.
for the Georgetown Police Department. We're investigating Leon's disappearance,
Yes,
and we're just trying to talk to family members, anybody we can think of to talk to, try to figure out where he's at, what happened to him, you know, stuff like that. Was your son Alex there too?
think Alex was at the house. Yeah, 'cause he was getting ready to go out.
Okay, he was getting ready to go out. Did he say anything about seeing him?
Not to me. He didn't.
Okay.
But Alex don't like him.
Alex and him bump heads all the time. A few weeks back, Alex spent a couple of nights in my house because him and JR got into it, and the sister, she put him out. She defended JR, she put him out, and he was upset about that. He don't know why.
Do you know of anybody who will be his enemy?
Alex, her brother.
Her brother?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get along?
At all.
So you don't know what kind of guy he is?
I don't know what kind of guy he is.
What have you heard? What kind of guy have you heard he is?
He's overprotective and assistant.
Does your son Alex and Leon get along?
One time I remember them had a disagreement, but then when we went to Washington, came back, they seemed like they got along real well.
Just a recent trip to Washington, or
yeah.
So y'all went? Didn't y'all go the week before Leon went missing?
Yeah.
And then after they came back, it seemed like they got along good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we left those. I think those two were at the house.
Okay.
Because they were feeding the dogs and everything, so they got along good. I didn't see a problem with them at all. Yeah.
And do you think that your daughter or your son has anything to do with his disappearance?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge?
Yeah, I hope not.
Okay. All right.
That's my ability, I hope not.
And you and Leon got along?
Oh, yeah. It's like father and son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexander Rue Jr. was described by more than one witness as a fast talker. He was open to speaking with the police rapidly about the disappearance of his brother-in-law, who he considered a good friend.
I got a brand new baby in the way. All type of stuff, though. We filed my taxes. I was taking all the last Tuesday. Like, I ain't going to bed, sir. I got a whole brand new address over here. I ain't going to
Just to get things started, can you just state your name, please?
Alexander Rue Jr.
Tell me what happened, everything that happened that you can remember the last night you saw JR.
Last night I seen JR, and actually I didn't actually really see him. I heard him. He was outside arguing, him and my sister.
Okay.
They always argue. They always go back and forth. They married. They always go back and forth. They always argue.
Yeah.
This and that. And he leave a couple of days, come back. This and that. That's what they do. You know what I mean? But I stay out there. I never do that. My sister, yeah, but I never do. I got my own son in the way. My first son ever liked though. So you know.
Who was cheating, him or her?
He was cheating.
Oh.
Whatever. Like how that went. She came back in the house, slammed the door. She went in the room. That was it.
Do you know who you were cheating with?
No.
Okay.
Is your sister worried about JR?
Worried about what?
Is she worried about him?
Yeah, she worried about him. Oh yeah, she going forward. She can't take it. She ain't been eating nothing. 3-4 days, no eating, no nothing. She's going crazy.
How come she never reported him missing?
Because they always argue. He always do this. The stuff they do. He always disappears for 1 week or 2 weeks. He always argues. Put it right for it. That's what, they go back and forth. Always argue.
Yeah, because just looking at her phone, she didn't seem to be worried about him being gone at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a couple weeks, and she doesn't seem to be worried about him at all.
Well, she's worried. Believe that she's worried.
Okay.
But she found out he was cheating and all that type of stuff. She hurt too at the same time too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the baby mother and all them, the one all this Facebook, all this little crazy dog, all the bunch of bullshit. But like I said, they most definitely love each other, 100%.
The picture was grim and methodical, a chilling demonstration of a family working in concert. The forensic team went back through the house, retracing every step. Underneath the carpet, the blood was saturated and hidden carefully, but it was still there. Tiny traces had been missed in the initial cleanup. It told investigators that whoever had attacked Leon knew what they were doing, and that someone else had assisted afterward. The violence hadn't been random. It had been calculated, executed with precision, and then covered up in the hope that nothing would be left behind. Investigators reviewed the purchases Alex Jr. had made in the days after the murder. Hydrogen peroxide was the most obvious, but there were other items, cleaning supplies, materials for concealment, and items that seemed ordinary to an unsuspecting eye. But paired with the forensic evidence, these purchases painted a clear picture. They weren't just cleaning a spill. They were erasing a crime. Then came the digital evidence. Investigators dug into Leon's phone records and the text messages sent from his number. Patterns emerged. Taish had made repeated calls to create the illusion that Leon was still in contact. Messages sent from his phone after his disappearance were carefully timed, often mirroring the patterns of his normal activity, but investigators could tell immediately that they were faked. Someone was deliberately trying to manipulate the timeline, to make it appear as if Leon was still alive, to mislead anyone watching or investigating. Every message was a deliberate misdirection. The jailhouse confession remained the strongest turning point.
In the room, we found 2 pieces of missing carpet.
Yeah.
That had spots on them, and we tested the spots, and they tested positive for blood. And our question to you is, why? Do you have any reason why?
Those pieces of carpet was missing before me and my husband even separated. He took them out. So
But it was blood on the mattress too. That soaked all the way through.
yeah, from me being my period. It's my blood. I pretty much, when I was pregnant, I had that bed when I was in DC, and I had an issue. Accident.
Okay.
And then also recently I had an accident as well. That's normal. It didn't make no difference to me.
But there's also some stuff in the middle of the bed that was like splattered that would not have been from a period.
You guys can look. Y'all do whatever y'all feel y'all need to do.
We're gonna test it. We're getting set off the test.
Absolutely fine to me. I'm not gonna sit here and fall into this that you guys are trying to do. You guys just want to pin somebody. And
no,
that's why you're torturing me half to death. But it's okay.
No, we find it in the house. We have to ask questions. We can't.
I understand. So that's why I'm trying to cooperate as much as I can.
Yeah.
So you said Leon cut the carpet spots out.
Yeah, like we did this.
After y'all moved in.
Not even after, like maybe like a year after we've been there, we decided what he was doing, he cut it out because he wanted to take a sample of the carpet, and he said that he was going to find some guy, he had some guy that he was just going to put down new carpet. So that's why he did it. But it's been like that. Like, recently I threw a blanket over top of it, and I bought a new carpet when I was in DC from Ross to put over top of it.
Yeah.
You can check all that, it's on my credit card records or whatever. It's just I just recently put a carpet down because I didn't want to keep throwing, a blanket over top of it.
Yeah.
Alex Jr. had admitted to disposing of Leon's body in the Black River, a detail only someone directly involved could know. Investigators used that information to reconstruct the sequence of events that night. They realized the plan had been simple in concept but brutal in execution: commit the murder inside the house, clean the scene to remove immediate evidence, manipulate digital records to buy time, and move the body to a location where it might never be found. It was organized. It was deliberate. It was horrifying. As they pieced together the timeline, the investigators also discovered the human side of the deception. Friends and family described Taish as calm and composed during the days after Leon disappeared, but that composure was part of the plan.
Don't think if I sit here and I say that I do not want to repeat what I've already said to you, that you can tell me that I'm guilty. Because we're not guilty of anything, because we don't know if he's hurt. We don't know if anything is wrong with him. God willing, we hope he's okay.
That's right.
And that's something you should be writing on that paper. You guys need to stop with all this trying to make it seem like something is wrong with him. He might be fine.
He might, and I hope he is. I hope he comes in here in a little bit.
But you will not do this. You will not tear me apart. You're not going to do this. I'm trying my best to hold myself together. I have children. I cannot fall apart.
It had panic, guilt, and coordination. Alex Jr.'s aggression, previously seen in threats and confrontations, had escalated to lethal force. Alexander Sr., though less directly involved in the violence itself, had participated in moving the body and assisting with concealment. Each member of the family contributed in ways that were consistent with their personalities, but together, they formed a deadly network. With the evidence mounting, investigators began preparing for charges. They knew that proving a conspiracy would require more than just the physical evidence. They needed the story, the connections, the planning, the deliberate actions, all laid out so clearly that a jury could see the full scope of the crime.
He just was like, took him for a little ride. Him and my sister fell out, Talking about, he gave my sister a disease, he cheating on my sister, back in child support and this, that, and the third. So,
He was telling you all this
while I was riding, my cousin in the back, but he don't know what's going on. I got the music playing, I keep telling him, man, chill out with that, you know what I'm saying?
Said the sister was involved?
Yeah, the wife.
How do you know that?
Because I know she knew about it, Because he said that they knew about it. I mean, that she knew about it.
Alex Jr. told you that she knew about it.
Yeah, she called him. Mm-hmm. She called him and he took him for a ride. He wasn't even living there. He was living somewhere else, So when she called him, he had to go over there because y'all don't mess with him like that.
Did he say how he did it?
No.
He didn't say? Mm-hmm. He just said he took him for a ride.
That's all he said. Nigga, he took him for a ride.
And the story was already there, written in blood, text messages, purchases, and confessions. Every new discovery shifted the emotional weight of the case. The initial shock of finding Leon's body was followed by frustration at the family's silence, then a grim determination to connect all the pieces. Investigators had to remain methodical, but they also had to feel the urgency. Every hour of delay could allow details to slip away, memories to fade, or the public's attention to drift. The stakes were real, and they were personal, not just for the Harrison family, but for everyone who believed that justice would be served. By the end of this phase, the investigation had moved far beyond a missing person report. It had become a careful reconstruction of a meticulously planned murder and cover-up. Each element, blood evidence, chemical purchases, phone records, confessions, reinforced the others. There was no single smoking gun, but the cumulative weight was undeniable. Leon Harrison Jr. had been killed in a deliberate, coordinated act, and the people responsible had tried to hide every trace. The evidence, however, would not stay buried. This batch sets up the escalation of the investigation and the unfolding conspiracy, maintaining tension and emotional weight. Once the evidence was compiled, authorities moved in. Tyesh Rue and Alex Rue Jr. were arrested first. The impact on the community was immediate. Neighbors who had known the family for years struggled to reconcile the violence hidden behind their doors. The quiet, controlled composure they had shown in public now felt chillingly calculated in hindsight. The arrest itself brought shock, disbelief, and a growing sense of relief that the investigation was reaching its crucial stage. Alexander Rue Sr. was also taken into custody, though his role appeared less direct. He wasn't accused of swinging the weapon or carrying out the attack, but he had participated in the disposal of Leon's body. Even so, every action mattered to the investigators. The way the family had coordinated their silence, cleaned the house, manipulated digital records, and removed the body demonstrated a level of planning that made the entire unit complicit in the crime. The courtroom became the stage where the narrative of the crime would be tested. The prosecution laid out the sequence of events: the attack in the bedroom, the meticulous cleanup, the purchases of cleaning chemicals, the false messages sent from Leon's phone, the disposal of the body, and finally, Alex Jr.'s confession. Each piece was carefully tied to the actions of the defendants. Evidence that might have seemed circumstantial on its own now formed a chain that investigators and prosecutors could trace step by step. The defense attempted to cast doubt on the family's coordination. Tyesh's lawyers emphasized her emotional state, the strain of a troubled marriage, and argued that her actions were the result of panic rather than intent. Alex Jr.'s defense focused on his impulsive behavior, suggesting the violence was a sudden escalation rather than a premeditated act. Alexander Sr.'s attorneys highlighted the lack of direct involvement in the attack itself. But the prosecution had anticipated these arguments. They presented the timeline in meticulous detail: the blood in the bedroom under the carpet, the surveillance showing Alex Jr. purchasing hydrogen peroxide hours after the attack, the fake text messages, the digital manipulation, and the jailhouse confession that described moving the body. The story was clear and consistent. Each member of the family had contributed to the crime in a way that aligned with their strengths, personality, and motives. Jury deliberations were intense. Every detail mattered, every action was weighed. After careful consideration, the verdicts were announced. Tyesh Rue and Alex Rue Jr. were found guilty of both murder and obstruction of justice. Each received 37 years in prison. The sentences reflected the jury's view that both had been central actors, Tyish providing the motive and coordinating the digital deception, Alex Jr. supplying the physical force and leading the cleanup. Their coordinated actions had turned personal conflict into lethal violence. Alexander Rue Sr., however, was treated differently. He was acquitted of murder but convicted of obstruction of justice. The jury concluded that while he had helped move the body and conceal evidence, he had not participated in the actual killing. His role was serious but secondary, reflected in his 8-year sentence. The distinctions made by the court highlighted the careful consideration given to each family member's level of culpability.
So what information is it that you have?
Well, the guy, I know his name is JR, the one that was murdered.
JR, yeah.
There's a guy here by the name of Alexander Rue.
Mm-hmm.
He come up to me and said, "That's what I'm here for, the murder of her nephew."
Mm-hmm.
He said, I think he said, murder, conspiracy after the fact, and disposing of a body was the charges he told me.
Right.
Then he said, "We dumped the body." I know for a fact that's what he said.
He told you personally,
we dumped the body. They ain't got nothing on me. We gonna get off.
The aftermath of the trial was complex. Tyish Rue later expressed her feelings from prison, reflecting on the breakdown of her marriage, her mistakes, and the consequences of her actions. Her words conveyed remorse but also framed the crime within the context of emotional turmoil, a perspective often seen in violent crime cases where personal relationships fuel extreme behavior. For Georgetown, the case left a lasting mark. A father had been murdered by those closest to him, and a family conspiracy had been revealed in devastating detail. The investigation, trial, and verdicts together showed how forensic evidence, digital analysis, and testimony could unravel a calculated plot that had begun behind closed doors. It was a story of betrayal, meticulous planning, and the consequences of violence, one that reminded the community, and anyone listening, that even familiar faces can hide the darkest intentions. After the verdicts, the aftermath settled over Georgetown like a quiet storm. Tyish Rue, from behind bars, began to express her feelings through writings and reflections. In a poem later shared publicly, she focused on the unraveling of her marriage, the betrayal she felt, and the weight of the choices that had led her here. Her words carried remorse, but they also reframed the narrative. She positioned the crime as a tragic outcome of emotional turmoil, attempting to contextualize the violence rather than fully acknowledge her active role in planning and executing the murder. It was a reminder of how perpetrators often seek to control the story, even when the facts are undeniable. The community, still grappling with the shock, began to confront a reality they had never imagined. A devoted father, a family man, had been taken from them by the people he trusted most. The Rue family, whose outward appearances had once suggested stability, now stood as a warning of how domestic conflict, unchecked anger, and loyalty twisted into complicity could escalate to lethal consequences. In the quiet streets, neighbors spoke of the tension they had sensed but dismissed, realizing that sometimes, what is hidden behind closed doors can be far darker than anyone expects. The legal system, through careful investigation, trial, and verdicts, had managed to untangle a web that initially seemed impenetrable. Forensic evidence revealed the brutal reality of the attack, while digital evidence exposed deception and manipulation. Confessions, both in person and in jailhouse testimony, filled the gaps, confirming what the physical evidence had already suggested. Every detail reinforced the narrative of a family conspiracy, a coordinated, deliberate, and calculated act that had begun in the home and ended in the river. This case is more than just a story of murder. It's a study in human behavior under pressure, in the consequences of betrayal, and in how ordinary relationships can turn deadly when resentment, anger, and secrecy collide. It underscores the importance of vigilance, the power of evidence, and the impact of collective accountability. No one person alone committed this crime. It required coordination, silence, and deliberate concealment. And it was that combination that ensured the investigation was as complex as it was crucial. For those following the case, the legacy is clear. Leon Harrison Jr. did not vanish. He was killed, hidden, and mourned, but the truth prevailed. the investigation, the trial, and the convictions stand as a testament to the way evidence, carefully gathered, carefully interpreted, can dismantle even the most carefully constructed conspiracies. And for the community, the story serves as a reminder: trust can be betrayed in the most intimate of spaces, and justice requires persistence, attention to detail, and unwavering resolve. In the end, the Harrison case remains a stark example of how domestic tension, when intertwined with aggressive loyalty and calculated action, can escalate to irreversible consequences. It is a story of betrayal, meticulous planning, and justice ultimately delivered, not swiftly, but surely. And as the story fades, one question lingers, unanswered, echoing far beyond Georgetown. How far would you go to protect those you love, and at what point does protection become destruction?